Hello, and welcome to Husky Hardball. I am your host, best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. And with me, as always, the icon, legendary voice of the Huskies, the best of the best, Joe D'Ambrosia. Joe,
Good
good
morning,
morning.
Steve. How are you?
Great to be here. Great to talk about some Hook C Yukon baseball, as I now know, which was a good learning experience. So we had a tough series against UNC Wilmington. We talked about before they went there. So the first game, I believe, was Friday night,
Right?
and it started out well. We had a victory, 5-2, and Charlie West pitched himself out of some tough situations. He had the bases loaded. He fought himself out, and he got a double play. We took a lead in the second after back-to-back hit by pitches. They threw at us, and the bases were loaded. And Chase Taylor gave the early lead with the bases loaded walk. So West ended up going 4 1/3, and he gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, walked 6, but struck out 9. And then Charlie Hale entered, and he did. I would say he fared much better, and closed things out 4 2/3, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. But the hitting, we're looking at it again, and we're getting some production. I mean, Jackson Marshall, like you said, Menzel got on base, but he struck out twice. Maddox didn't do much, and we got production from the DH. Steve Thomas had a hit, but it was a slow day. Other than the catcher, Nate Watcher, I believe.
He's not the catcher. He's an outfielder.
The center fielder, right fielder. Yeah, he had 2 hits, and Chase Taylor was the one that had a walk and walked in the run. But it wasn't the best game, but it was a start to the series. What were your thoughts on it? I mean, the
Well,
pitching.
the series as a whole.
Yeah,
Let's look at the broad picture first. They were banged up. Rispoli was hurt. Lane was hurt. Menzel was
yeah, they were
was
all
hurt.
out.
Belisario only played Sunday. Menzel played through a broken finger and went 0 for 14 over the weekend.
Yeah,
So, from a position standpoint, um, they had to play some players who probably saw more time than they were gonna. Now the pitching was fine. I mean, West struggled with his
yeah,
control. He threw 104 pitches through 4 2/3 innings, but he did strike out 9. And then Hale, who had that terrific start on the Thursday game at Tucson, and is scheduled to be the normal midweek starter. He came in and played and pitched terrific, as you said,
yeah,
4 2/3 of 1 hit innings. He got the win. I mean, the offense was pretty much lethargic
yeah.
all weekend long. I mean,
They didn't
in
produce.
30 innings, they only had 16 hits. The winning runs scored in the ninth inning on a walked or single, a wild pitch, and a
Yeah, the
hit
wild pitch.
batsman.
Yeah,
So they weren't. So the offense wasn't very productive, which
no,
with all those guys out, you
it
might
would make
expect
sense.
to be the case. So Friday night, you're just trying to scratch and claw and get yourself a win. And they were able to do that because again, you only give up 4 hits in 9 innings. You should be able to win a game like that.
Yeah, and then you look at the next game, and it was really a pitcher's duel. It was the one that went into extra innings, 12
Right.
innings. It was 1-2-1. They lost, but again, you talk about the run production and the offense that were lacking. And Caden Suchi was phenomenal. I mean, 12 strikeouts and
Yeah.
7 innings. I mean, he had shut out work, and then they brought it was the most they said since what's his name, Ian Cook, and then they brought in Paxton Myers, I believe.
Yep. Yep.
And that was what gave them. I mean, UNC Wilmington pretty much manufactured the run. They had an infield hit, and then they had a sacrifice bunt, and then they had an RBI double, which tied the game.
Yep.
And then it got it to 1-1, and we were trying to take the lead in the ninth, and we had runners on first and third with 2 outs, but we struck out, ending it. And then they traded zeros until the bottom of the 12th. And then this is what was crazy. The leadoff double followed by a hit by pitch. We had UNC Wilmington had runners on first and second with no outs, and then a sacrifice bunt to third. And Maddox delaying his throw was errant, so to speak. And that was it.
Not so to speak, it was errant, because that's how the winning run came in. Now look, he's trying to learn how to play a new position.
Yeah, that's not his normal spot, right?
He's a first baseman by trade, but they've moved him over to third to get Jackson Marshall in the lineup. Without having seen the play, I'm guessing he was better off throw to first, get the batter out,
get the out,
and then keep the game.
Get
then
the
trust
play
on your bullpen. But again, this was another game where the offense just didn't get anything going. They only had 5 hits, 2 for Chris Palemi, 2 for Chris Cancel, filling in a catcher for Connor Lane. But 6 men left on base. And again, and look, Myers pitched 3 shutout innings before he gave up the unearned run. Or actually pitched 4 shutout innings till he gave up the unearned run in the 12th. So the pitching, other than the 8th inning on Sunday, the pitching on the trip was very good. But again, the hitting just didn't come through this weekend. And again, you're missing your top 2 offensive, your table setters in Rispoli and
Minnick
and Tyler Minnick. Menzel's playing with a broken finger. And obviously I would think that affected his performance at the plate. But again, if you're hurt, don't play.
That's you're saying.
We can't talk about it. Connor Lane hadn't been hitting the ball well, but he's going to come through. And the center fielder Belserio only played on Sunday. He's not a prolific bat, but he can get some things done offensively. So it's tough. It's tough to evaluate. It's tough to evaluate the weekend, exactly, just because of the scenario. What you can't say about the weekend is that 95% of the time the pitching was very good. Yeah. The only time it wasn't was in the bottom of the 8th inning yesterday when they gave up, when Sean Finn had control issues and they gave up the 5 runs.
Right, and I mean, but we're in 3 games to score. Really, it was the 5 runs that we were lucky to get, and then the last 2 games it was 1 run and 2 runs. That's not going to get it done. That's not
in college. Not in college baseball. Your hitters are always seemingly ahead of your pitchers, and that was the case this weekend for UNC Wilmington. Give them credit; they got the job done. And then yesterday, just 7 hits, but they take a 2-1 lead going into the 8th. Pudvar gave him 5 strong, struck out 7, only 5 hits. Shaw pitched 2 innings to get him to the closer, Finn, in the 8th. Since they hadn't used Sean earlier in the weekend, I'm sure Jimmy and Josh McDonald's thinking was to get him for a 6-out save, and it just didn't happen. That happens with if your name's not Rivera, that happens. That's going to happen with relievers. Okay. Yeah. That's good. That's going to happen. Even a guy like Edwin Diaz, who's as good as they come now in the majors, he has days where he just doesn't have it, and that happened with Sean. So you just shrug your shoulders and move on.
Yeah. And you gotta be happy that the pitching is there. You feel confident with the starters. You feel confident with the guys they can go to in the bullpen until the later innings. But once they get back to full strength, this should be a different team. He changed around the lineup a little bit too.
Well,
He's
that was all because of the injuries.
the injuries. Okay.
I don't think you can take anything from the three lineups that they, the only constant in the lineup is Marshall third and Delano fourth right now with everybody
So,
being hurt.
I mean, the biggest surprise or challenge right now would be the injuries and the offense, would you say?
Would be getting people healthy. Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely. I mean, I think the
we don't
Rispoli
know.
injury, I think Minnick is undetermined. I think they hope to get Rispoli back fairly soon. I don't know if he's going to play tomorrow, if they play tomorrow against New Haven. Um, Lane, I haven't heard anything on him. I'll try to find out some information, but it's part of life. Sometimes you go through injuries like this, and there's nothing you can do about it.
No, it is. It is. And, we have our home opener coming up March 4th. The team has been getting a
No, it's
lot.
tomorrow. It's March 3rd.
It's March
Scheduled
3rd.
for tomorrow.
Okay. The team has been getting a lot more fan engagement. What do you think has changed as far as UConn fandom? From attendance at Elliott Ballpark to social media buzz. And, because I was even on Twitter and I just see so much more fan engagement.
Oh, I don't think it's more. I don't think it's more, Stevie. You just haven't seen it. I think
Okay. So it's
they've
been strong.
I think it's been pretty strong for a long time, and I think the attendance is due to the fact that they play in one of the best facilities in the
Yeah.
Northeast at Elliott Ballpark, and they always present a really good team. I think
Yeah.
I think that's the story.
I mean, how important do you think it is, this non-conference play before we get into Big East play, building some momentum before we dive
you
in?
want to build momentum, but you also want to get wins. You can't lose all your non-conference games and then just
Right.
hope you're going to snap your fingers and snap out of it in the Big
Exactly.
East portion of the schedule. So we've talked about, the schedule. They've got another West Coast trip on the way when they go to when they have
Right.
when they have spring break. They'll be in Oregon and California, and then they come
So
back, and then it's pretty much weekend Big East play and weekday and midweek non-conference games.
right, exactly. And going forward, I mean, they're coming back to the East, and it is not the best weather. It is warming up a little bit. What do you think the difference will be as far as having to play now in this environment as opposed to what they were playing in previously?
Well, they've only got the one game. They've got the game against New Haven
New
scheduled
Haven, just the one, right?
for tomorrow, and then when they come back from Old Dominion, they've got one game against BC, and then they head west for the road trip to Oregon and to California. I mean, if the conditions warrant, they'll play. If they don't, they won't. I mean, that's just because you got a great AstroTurf facility doesn't mean you go out there and play in 25-degree weather. They've never done that. That's not the way you do things in baseball. It just makes for a bad environment. So, but I think they'll be fine. I think you come to UConn, you understand that if you play home games in March, and for a long time when they had a grass field, they couldn't. When you come to UConn and you're going to play some games in cold conditions. I mean, I've done some games up there
Yeah.
back when I was on the baseball beat that they would do the that they played in cold weather. So I just got that the weather is better for Wednesday, so they are shifting the game to Wednesday. It had originally
Yeah.
a Tuesday game.
So it is going to be March 4th.
Yeah, and then according to my source, the other injuries are all long-term injuries, meaning Lane, meaning Minnick. Um, Rispoli may be a go this week, but the others are long-term injuries. So
That's difficult.
that's a tough blow. You
Those
know,
are your. I
you're
mean,
missing your starting
it's your
catcher, and
foundation.
you're missing your Big East Player of the Year candidate. So
Do we know exactly what happened? Was there one incident that occurred?
I haven't inquired
Yeah,
about that. Just I know that I saw
that's
in the
tough.
in the release on the website for the weekend, they
Yeah,
said uh, that the somebody suffered a broken Menzel suffered a broken finger or fractured finger. I don't know what the other injuries were.
and I mean, Coach Penders, he's been there 23 years. He has helped grow the program, and his impact has really sustained success. He knows what he's doing. I mean, he can handle situations like this. Who do you think he is going to lean on most to try to get through this? Is it going to still be the pitching? Is he going to try to get more out of his offense, or does it have to
Well,
be a combination?
it always starts with the pitching, and if you've got
Yeah,
good starting pitching, as they do,
right.
um, in West and Suchi and Pudvar, and Hale has proven to be a valuable commodity. Maybe he gets the start. I'm sure he gets the start against New Haven on Wednesday. Um, but your offense, I mean, you need the veteran guys to come up and start hitting the ball. You need Delana to
Yeah,
to
Elena and
to
Marshall.
just yeah. I mean, Marshall's not a veteran guy, but you hope Menzel can play through it. Nader Wachter has been pretty good. Chase Taylor has contributed from time to time. I mean, you can't look at this past weekend because nobody hit, and then you hope that the players you have filling in are going to be able to take up the load now. Belisario's a nice player, but he's not Tyler Minnick in center
No,
field.
no.
The catchers are good young catchers, Thomas and Cancel, but
Co-
they're not Connor Lane, who's got a full
no.
year of experience under his belt. So you're counting on young guys to try to come in and fill important roles. And what you had when everybody's healthy, you've got a pretty long lineup. They don't have a long lineup now.
No, it's not nearly as deep as it
Yeah,
was.
and that's just the way of the world. I mean, that's the nature of baseball.
No, and nobody feels sorry for you. You gotta go.
Oh,
You gotta go
absolutely not.
through.
And the people who feel least sorry for him are the coaching staff. They understand. They understand what it is, that it's injuries, and that you try to fight through them and do the best that you can. And if you brought these kids in to play, the
Yes,
kids who
exactly.
weren't playing because there were other guys better than them. But
Right.
these kids who you've brought in,
They're
you
on
expect
scholarship
them to.
too. You're
Yeah,
thinking, yeah,
exactly. You expect them to, you
produce.
expect them to produce. The Thomas kid is a grad student helping fill in
Yeah.
behind the plate. I mean, he had great numbers at Catholic University playing D3 ball. So you hope he and Chris Cancel can fill the hole for Lane. You hope that Belsario in center field can give you the good defense, and if he can scrap and get on base, he's not going to provide you the power that Minnick has. Then you hope he fills that it might be a different looking offense, especially without Minnick and Lane.
Yeah, with other players getting these opportunities, is there anyone that you see, breaking out and maybe showing flashes and
Oh,
becoming?
I don't know enough about him to go there. I know one kid I like is the freshman kid from Weathersfield, Cam Reggie. I think if he's a catcher and a utility guy. You might see him if the Connor Lane injury is going to go for a while. You might see him get some duty behind the plate. I don't think he's caught yet, but you might see him get some call behind the plate. Oh, he
And
has caught. Yeah, he caught against Arizona. He caught a couple times, I think. So, okay.
what is going to be the biggest limit and struggle with Menzel playing with a broken finger? I mean, hitting,
Depends what hand. It
throwing,
depends.
yeah,
It depends. Well, it can't be on his right hand because he wouldn't be able to throw with it.
then he
So
wouldn't be able to.
it's got to be on his glove hand. So, it probably prohibits him a little bit from what he's able to do. But again, if they didn't think he could play
They wouldn't put him
and
in.
he couldn't tolerate the pain, they wouldn't put him in there. So it's up to Evan to kind of make adjustments and figure it out. And I'm sure he will be working at it. I mean, I'm sure today and tomorrow he'll be in the cage and at the RZA Center and trying to figure out what he can do. Again, this kid is a sophomore. He had a
Yeah,
good career. He had a good season last year up at
he
Maine,
did.
and he wanted to come home and play for his local school. So he wants to be out there. I mean that's the bottom line with his injuries. He still wants to be out there trying to help the team. And again, it's got to be his left hand, and if he couldn't perform, he wouldn't play. So
With the rash of injuries, the pitching being as good as it's been, do you see UConn trying to manufacture more runs, stolen bases, bunting, things like
they've
that?
always been a good team that's been able to play both small ball and play
They can.
power ball. With Delana, with Marshall,
Right.
Wachter seems like he's got a little bit of power. You've got three guys in the middle of the order who can drive the ball. What you need is whoever you're going to play in the leadoff spot in the first two spots with Menzel or Palomeni or whoever they put up there. You need those guys to get on base. That's the most important thing for those guys. Not hit for power, just make their way on base. I mean, the problem is, like Rispoli had 28 at bats and he also walked 7 times. So he was a
Yes.
very patient leadoff man.
Very.
Menzel is good at that. Polamani's that good at that. One of the problems you've got is you've got four guys who are already in double figures in strikeouts.
Yeah. I
So,
know.
it can't be an all or nothing approach.
Yeah. No, I mean, I believe you're talking about Chase Taylor, Bryce Dweller. Those guys have struck out. And
Well, no, the double-digit strikeout guys are Menzel, Marshall,
okay.
Delana, and Wachter. So it's right in the middle of the order.
And the other thing is, I mean, we are leaving guys on base. There've been a lot of missed opportunities there. We have to hit better with runners in scoring position, especially in close games when we're losing in 12 innings, 2-1. Leaving men on base is not going to get it done. Don't you believe that we need that production when we have runners in scoring position?
Well, situational hitting is always important. When you look at the game against the game they lost to Wilmington,
Yeah.
as you said, they had men on first and third in the ninth with 2
Mhm.
out and couldn't score. They had 2 on with 2 out in the 10th and couldn't score. They
Correct.
went 1, 2, 3 in the 11th, and they got a lead. They got a 1 out single in the 12th. Palomeni stole third, second, and then the next two guys struck out. So it's just
crazy.
matters being situational hitters, Steve. That's the big deal.
So when you say situational hitter, you mean
Go to the right side, advance the runners.
Yeah.
Maybe shorten up on your swing if you're not if you're not Marshall or Delana or Wachter. I mean, those kids are in the middle of those are your middle of the order kids, and those are the kids you want you want to see produce with men in scoring position. So it's not easy. It's a tough stretch. You just hope they make it through it. The long-term injury thing is a little bit disconcerting to find out that a couple of the big guys will be out for what seems like a considerable amount of time. A couple of years ago we had that with Ryan Daniels, and he ended up missing the whole season, basically. which hurt that team 2 years ago. And then last year he came back and was an All-American. So you'll see. I mean, they're going to get the best treatment. There's Katie Dan and the medical staff do a great job. And some kids heal quickly, some kids don't.
Yeah. And, they have the one-off game with BC after Old Dominion. Do you think at least playing with the guys that they have now, they're going to start to get those reps? They're going to start to gel. We're going to see some improvement out of them. Coach Penders.
Well, you got a game Wednesday, and then you've got the 3 games with Old Dominion. I mean, there's no time for gelling. You've got to do it now. Baseball is, it's not like football because it's a team sport that's an individual game. It's the pitcher against the hitter. It's the fielder fielding his position. It's not like football where if your offensive line blows, then your running back, your quarterback's not going to get time to throw, and your running back is going to get room to run.
Exactly.
The player, it's like I said, it's an individual sport. It's individually based in a team game. So you know what? They're getting reps. I mean, the thing about college baseball is you trot out the same guys every day when they're healthy. You go back and look at some of the numbers and some of the games played for some of UConn's better teams, and the team that went to the Super Regional in Stanford, those guys are all everyday players. Even the catchers and stuff. Guys go out there. It's a 60-game season. It's not 162 games. You go out and you play, and that's why you're at school.
That's why you were brought there. That's why you were brought there. But being encouraged at least by the pitching, the hitting definitely has to improve. They're going to go to Old Dominion, and the non-conference schedule is challenging. It's going to harden them for Big East play. But do you think, obviously now, do you see them at the point where there's more of a sense of urgency? Or is there always?
There's always there's always a sense of urgency. There's never not. You don't take the field and say, oh, well, this isn't an important game. You only got 60 of them. And if you don't play hard all the time, then you've got issues and stuff. So no, there's not. The only time there's a sense of you can use that sense of urgency line is when you get to the postseason. Regular season, every game matters.
Now, I was actually asked this. We have produced.
What did Chris D ask?
We have produced major league players.
It was Chris D. It was Chris D, wasn't it?
Yeah. He got me the other night. We have some players in the major leagues, which I didn't know about. Do you know
about George Springer?
No, I did not. I did not know that we had that much talent in the major leagues. We had some
World Series MVP with the Astro. Yeah. You got to get your head out of the sand when it comes to other sports.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. So he's one. Do you know of any others that are there? Because we have pretty good talent pipeline and major league connections, and I didn't know that. So I just wanted to hear it because that's what he was telling me.
Anthony Kay will be with the White Sox this year after spending 2 years in Japan. Ben Kasperius will be in his 3rd year with the Dodgers. Pete Fatsy, who was a star on the 07 through 09 teams, is the hitting coach for the Red Sox. So and there's guys who are making their way up the minor league chain. So yeah, there's quite a few UConn.
Yeah.
UConn's not just a basketball school, despite what a lot of people think.
No. And then who do you see showing flashes and probably having a chance to play at the next level on this year's roster? I know it's different.
I think Minnick is a kid who has a chance.
Yeah.
I think Marshall, because of his size, somebody will take a chance on him. I would hope that Delano will come around because I think big left-handed hitter, they're always looking for players like that. And as far as the pitchers, I don't know. I don't know how well the pitchers stuff translates to the next level, whether it be minor league or major league. I guess maybe by May we'll have a better idea as to how that all is going to work out. But right now, I would say that Minnick, Delana, Marshall would be three guys who would be, your three best players. Plus, the pros know that what a good program UConn has, so they're kind of in tune with the fact,
because I know it works different for baseball. Like guys can get drafted out of high school and still go and play in college.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. And do they still stay with that major league team throughout their college career, or okay? I
think if they don't sign right away, then I think they go back in, and they can't sign till after their junior year.
Right. That's okay. That's what I thought. So it's not really player development right now. I mean, it's player performance. The guys that are
exactly.
The guys that
but you're trying to develop guys. It's not
you're trying
just
to
about,
do both.
Yeah, you want to develop guys. So, that's the that's the thing. You want to develop guys, but you also need them to perform so you can win.
But I mean, do you think that's also challenging because
no,
we did
it's the way it's been for 100. It's the way it's been for 100 years. It's not challenging.
No, I get that. I'm just saying that we have transfers. It's not like freshmen. Developing freshmen is different than bringing in a transfer who's already
that's a fair point.
Right?
That's a fair point. Yeah, but those transfers already are ingrained into college baseball, so they don't need as much development as a raw freshman like the Reggie kid coming out of high school.
Right. They should be able to step up and perform because they performed elsewhere, and that's why we brought them in.
And plus, to be honest with you, as far as the freshmen are concerned, they have so many different avenues to play during the summertime. It's no longer just American Legion ball. It's all these club teams and all these showcases, all these travel teams and stuff.
Tournaments. Yep.
So it's completely different than it was 10 years ago.
No, it is. It's a different game, and I think that we've adjusted to it. This really, I mean, we have a chance for a Big East 5-peat, technically. That would be huge. The keys for getting that done, obviously, get healthy. Do you think that with the guys we have playing now, we'll be able to win consistently?
You'd have to tell me how the offense is going to perform.
Right.
I think the pitching will be fine, but I think if you're operating without Minnick and Lane and Rispoli's playing or Menzel's playing hurt, then who knows? But that's still 3 weeks away. So I mean, they've got by long term. I'm not sure if they mean season ending or they mean months at a time. So that's a big deal.
That's a huge challenge and a huge mountain to overcome. And I mean, do you think putting more pressure on the pitchers, like Suchi, Oliver, and those guys, they can handle it, don't you think?
Pitchers have pitched. Yeah, there's no extra pressure on the pitchers. You can tell the pitcher's always trying to limit the other team to nothing. The fact that your offense is struggling doesn't change how the pitcher approaches his job. So there's really no added pressure on the pitchers.
It's always there. You got to.
It's always there. It's always there.
You don't even think about the offense. You just do your job, focus on that. The rest takes care of itself.
Yep, exactly.
But Coach Penders, I mean, with his experience, do you think that he changes? I know you said that we still have a big lineup with the three big men in the middle. Do you think he changes anything, tweaks anything with what he does offensively? Do you think we try to steal more bases? Do we play?
Well, if you have kids who can steal bases, you can steal them. But I mean, they only have 13 stolen bases on the
on the
season.
year.
That's not a lot. Of course, you got to get on base to steal. As a team, they're only hitting 227. They're only getting on 2 out of every 10 times. So that doesn't make it as easy to steal. The walks, 56 walks in, 13 games, 14 games, something like that. I mean, that's what, 4 walks a game. So, you're not getting a hell of a lot of people on base. But you just hope that, you might have somebody bunt that's normally not a bunter. You're probably not bunting your 3 guys in the middle of the lineup. That's not going to happen. But it'll be a matter of time. I mean, it'll be an opportunity for other guys to come up and shine, and hopefully for the Hook C, we get guys to do that.
Yeah, and they should be able to. I mean, this was supposed to be a loaded roster, a talented team. They're coming off a good season from last year where they got ripped off, and they really should have a chip on their shoulder and something to prove.
Well, they do, but when your players are hurt, that kind of changes the dynamic.
No, 100% it does, because you're not yourself. Who in the Big East right now do you see is playing well and a threat to UConn?
Well, I mean, Xavier, who they open up with. Xavier's always one of the better teams in the conference. I think they won, either they or Creighton. I think maybe it was Creighton that won the conference a year ago. So they'll be good again. And then the thing about baseball is, if you've got 3 starting pitchers, then you've got the opportunity to make some hay. I mean, Georgetown's 8-4, but I have no idea who they've played. Seton Hall is always good. They're 4-4. UConn and Xavier are 4-7 apiece. So, I mean, the top 4, St. John's is always representative. I don't think these standings have been updated God knows how long. So, no, it says St. John's only played 3. No, this is not right. They have not updated the sandwich standings and stuff. So I don't know. As of right now, I would say Xavier, Creighton, Seton Hall, or St. John's are the big threats in the Big East.
And as you said, Creighton won the conference last year. So yeah, I mean, it says on the Big East website, Georgetown is 7-0. That can't be right.
No, the website hasn't been updated.
Yeah.
If it's not men's basketball, the Big East doesn't pay much attention to it. Let's be honest.
I see what you're saying.
Let's be honest. No, this says Georgetown's 8-4.
Yep. 4-4, Seton Hall.
Yeah, but that's not. Seton Hall's played more than 8 games. I can guarantee you that. Yeah, see, they didn't. No, they had no Seton Hall. Well, Seton Hall's had 3 games canceled.
Oh, okay.
So they are 4-4. So that makes sense. But it's got St. John's. It's got St. John's as 1-3. It doesn't include any of St. John's games at Arizona State or any of the games this weekend against Kentucky. So you can't go by the Big East website. Good luck with that.
That's amazing that they don't.
I'm not talking about that. I don't want to get in any. I don't want to get us in any trouble.
No. So to watch the game for New Haven, does it? Because somebody asked me, does it stream on our website or
UConn Plus? Yeah, you go to the UConn website, you find UConn Plus, and Chris and Randy will be on there doing the game.
Okay. And then for the other games, for Old Dominion, will that be on UConn Plus as well?
No, not road games. Only
the road games are not. Okay.
And then the conference home games are on ESPN Plus.
Okay.
Part of the big shiny deal that the big digital deal. And there might be a game. There might be one game during the year. Fox Sports 1 usually comes in and does a game, but the Old Dominion games are on ESPN Plus. It doesn't say anything about the West Coast road trip games. Quinnipiac will be on UConn Plus. Xavier will be on ESPN Plus. So, there's plenty of chances to watch the Huskies.
And I know that you're a big baseball fan. I mean, you've covered basically everything: football, baseball, basketball, hockey, volleyball. I mean, you've done it all. But you love baseball. Would you
I
say
love baseball. Yeah, baseball was my
baseball's
first
your
love.
favorite sport? Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say it's my favorite sport. I don't think I have one. I mean, maybe football, to be honest with you, even though I haven't done a game in forever. I think football. I love hockey. I've gotten to love volleyball and lacrosse. I mean, the softball team is struggling this year, but they're a good group to cover. Laura's a great coach.
Yeah.
You know, women's lacrosse had an overtime win on Saturday after losing a 5-goal lead. So I don't, but baseball, baseball is a sport I kind of grew up with, baseball and football, between
Because
watching Yankees and the Giants.
yeah, you were so you like the Giants as well.
Yeah, we've gone over that. We've talked
The
about that. No, the New
old,
York Giants, not the
the
San
old New York
Francisco
Giants.
Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, New York Football Giants. So speaking of football, I think we've turned baseball upside down here. What were your thoughts? Let me be the questioner here. What
Oh
were your
boy.
thoughts on the performances of Bell and Fignano at the NFL Combine?
Bell turned heads. I mean, he did what he needed to do as a smaller wide receiver. He ran well. He ran, the 4.4, which is what he needed with his size. I thought he had a good performance. I don't know that he is going to be an upper echelon. People thought he was, because he was an All-American, he's going to be a first-round pick. I think he's probably a third-round pick, second-round pick tops, but he did what he needed to do.
I think he definitely could go on Friday. On
I
day
hope he
two.
does.
Yes, I think that's I think reading the story at Damamore's story in the Current, his athleticism numbers were through the roof
Off
at
the
the
charts.
he so that's a that's a good sign for him. And I think
But he didn't perform great in the Senior Bowl. That was
well, he didn't even play.
East-West Shrine game. Sorry, the
He didn't
Shrine.
even play.
Well, he played in the Shrine game. He didn't have any catches. He wasn't targeted. He didn't have any catches. That would be that was the concern there. But I think between his performance at the Combine and what he does at the UConn Pro Day, he's
Bell didn't play. Bell didn't play in the East-West game.
Oh, he didn't. Okay.
He was injured. No, Bell didn't play in that game.
Oh, okay. That's why they said that he didn't have any catches then. So I think he's continuing to escalate and elevate his status. I think that he is going to be most likely, I thought, a third-round pick. If he continues to put up numbers like this, he could move into the second round. I don't think he will go in the first just because of his size, but that speed was the question mark. Everyone wanted to see what he would run, and he knocked it out of the ballpark.
Yeah, 4.4. I mean, on Damamore's story, he says his scouting grade was 6.25, which is considered an NFL level starter, and his athleticism. No, he's not going to go in the first round, but his athletic score of 83 was 7th among wide receivers. So we see wide receivers get picked a lot. So I would think it's a possibility of him going a second and third round. And look, I know when we did Husky Huddle during the year, we all poo-pooed the idea of Fignano getting drafted. I don't think that's out of the. He ranked 12th among quarterbacks at the Combine, and now it's not a great quarterback class. In fact, other than
terrible class.
Other than Mendoza and Pavia, maybe Ty Simpson, the rest of the quarterbacks will be later. No, I don't think Pavia either.
Pavia is too small.
I think the rest of the quarterbacks will be later round picks, and you don't know if 12 quarterbacks are going to get picked.
No, I don't think 12 quarterbacks will get picked. The advantage that he has is being a drop back style quarterback, which the NFL looks for. I shouldn't say drop back. He's not a dual threat. That's how the terminology is now. He's not a dual threat guy. He's a pocket passer first and foremost. He has shown flashes of athleticism when they've allowed him to, or when he's had to. He had some good runs. I do think that he will end up on an NFL roster, practice squad. He will get signed as a free agent, most likely. And I think in a lot of situations, that's better for quarterbacks and better for some guys, because if you're a later round pick, sometimes you don't end up in the best situation for you to make a roster. Whereas if you're a rookie free agent, you have options. You can kind of choose where you want to go. So that's why I think he will definitely end up on a roster. I think that he'll either he'll end up being signed as a rookie free agent. I don't think it'll be one of those situations where he gets a mini camp invite where they bring in like 60 guys and then they'll sign 4 after. I think he'll get signed. I think he'll go to all the off-season workouts and programs and OTAs. And I think in training camp, just because I think he has good arm strength, he can make all the throws, and he is a pocket guy. I think that gives him an advantage, because the NFL, it loves that. And the dual threat guys have not been as great. Josh Allen is going to get himself killed. You saw Mahomes tear his ACL. Lamar Jackson was hurt most of the year. He hasn't won in the playoffs. They want guys who can sit back there, go through their progressions, go through their reads, and make throws. And Joe, as much as I don't like what he did, Joe can fire the ball. He throws fastballs. He can make every throw on the field. He can throw the field out. He can throw this right down the seam. The only thing I didn't like was some of his short throws is when he's got to take a little bit off. And that's where he wouldn't do. Like if any of his 3-step drops or quick passes, he would throw it 95 miles an hour. And that's where you have to have a little touch and awareness and know that, you can't throw it, try to take the guy's head off.
Right. You can't try to throw it through the guy.
Which he did. I mean,
let me just say this: pro receivers are not going to put up with that for long.
Oh no. They're going to tell you, to buzz off. So no, that's what I see. I think that him being invited to the combine was great. His numbers stand out. Obviously, with the 28 touchdowns and 1 interception, I think he had.
Yeah.
But it was against the thing that's going to hurt him is we didn't play against top tier competition at all. He had the one game against Duke. Obviously, he played well, but I think that's going to hurt him, and that's what I thought was going to hurt Skyler. But I mean, Skyler had over 100 catches. All-American. He is tearing it up in the offseason, which he absolutely needed to do. And he's just continuing to move up the boards. And like you said, the wide receiver position right now is probably second to quarterbacks, which teams look for. They want that franchise starting quarterback. That's not there. They're going to go with wide receivers on offense. I mean, that is what right now, because it's basically 7-on-7 out there. It's a passing league, and he's got a skill set that teams are going to want. And I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. He came in. I mean, he was a 3-time transfer, and he did well for us. Other, than the last bowl game. So that was my only gripe was how those guys handled the end of the year, and that just leaves a sour. You're still rooting for them, but you have a sour taste in your mouth looking back at how everything ended.
I agree. I totally agree.
That's just my thing.
No, I think you're spot on. I think you're 100% right.
Yeah.
And look, if Fignano gets if Fignano gets drafted, then I think unless he really struggles in camp,
Yeah.
I think he'll make a team because you need 3 quarterbacks.
That's why I agree.
So I think he'll make, which is good for him. I mean, and to be honest with you, even though it's a different coach, it's great for UConn to say we had 2 skill position players. And Toledo's had plenty of guys drafted in their time. So I think Coach Candle's reputation will precede him. I've heard nothing but good things about the coordinators. They had the meet the coaches event
the game
prior to the St. John's game, and I heard it was a huge success.
Yeah. He knocked it out of the park. He really did.
Yeah. Him, both Coach Candle and the two coordinators. So look, I think, I think that it's going to be a whole different team next year. Program sales are going to be high.
Yep.
But that's the way of the world in college football now. And I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think we're going to see Coach Candle have to do this every year. Totally rebuild the roster, because you can't.
No.
Football. You need some sort of continuity.
You got to have stability. You do. And, I think now, unfortunately, they limited the transfer portal, which ended up making things worse, cutting it to 15 days, cutting it to one portal. Now they're saying they're trying to prevent illegal transfers for guys, who may want to transfer after spring ball. What they did last year was they would just withdraw from school and go to another school. The quarterback from BYU did that and went to Tulane. So they're really cracking down on this. The NCAA wants continuity. They don't want what's been happening, like 30 players following Lane Kiffin, players following James Franklin to Virginia Tech. Whenever there's a new coach, they're trying to prevent the rating of the team's roster that follows them. But the reality of it is, whenever there's a coaching change, as a player that your job is most likely in jeopardy because you're not the new guy's guy. So you're looking for a way out. You're looking to go, if you can, with the guy that brought you in. But I agree with you. I think Joe will end up on a roster, at worst a practice squad. He's a pocket passing quarterback, and he will come cheap, which is huge with the salary cap. There was a big increase this year. I think it was like $33 million. So guys are going to get paid, but you see teams have success when the quarterbacks have been on rookie contracts. That's what has really benefited them, when they've had quarterbacks on rookie contracts, that once they get that $50 million a year, that hampers what you can put around them. That's why, Brock Purdy was so productive, because he had a lot of talent around him. When, you're spending $50 million on one guy, it's tough to put the guys needed, that supporting cast around them. But we'll see what happens. The pro day will be big, and like I said, we're rooting for them. We wish them well.
Yep, absolutely.
We just have a little sour taste in our mouth because of how the season ended.
It's a couple of months ago. That's in the past.
Yep.
No reason in the world we live in now. There's no reason to hold grudges.
Right. I mean, that's the worst thing you can do. So, quickly, you got a prediction for the New Haven game? on Wednesday?
Oh, I think they'd beat New Haven. Yeah, I mean, baseball. Here's the thing, and I know we like to do predictions, but predicting individual baseball games doesn't make any sense. I think what you want to see happen now is
The
them
guys step up.
try to get guys healthy, and if they
Yeah.
can't get guys healthy, if that doesn't work out, then what you want to see is just guys improve. You want to see
Yeah.
the pitching stay steady. I'd like to see Delana get on track with the bat because I think that's a big key. Having
Him
a
and
power
Marshall.
guy. Yeah, Marshall's been fine. There's no problems with Marshall. Delana's not even hitting 200. And
Right.
if you're
But
number
I'm
4
saying
hitter,
those are your guys though that you're relying on in the center of your lineup.
well,
Delana.
and the Wachter kid. I mean, he's a big key. He's a big key too. So yeah, I want to see at the Old Dominion series. I want to see Maddox break out. I want to see the pitching get better. I want to see Finn bounce back from his shaky outing on Sunday,
Yeah.
and just continue to improve.
Yeah. All right. Well,
All right.
Great show. Great show.
As always.
Yeah. As always.
We didn't miss Schumann at all.
No, never. He's too good for us, Joe. He's too good.
He's busy. He's
So,
quite the entrepreneur, so he's busy.
He's a hustler. He's always making a buck. He's a hustler. That's how you got to be. But thank you, and we'll see what happens.
See you Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
See you Wednesday.
And yeah,
lots to talk about.
Wednesday. Yes,
quite a week this last week with the Huskies.
Very, very big week. So, for Joe D, the legendary icon, voice of the Huskies, the best of the best.
Oh, quick! I've got a joke for you. What is this? Hold on. A hockey game at UMass. You didn't hear about this.
Oh no, I did.
you
I did hear. I did read about it. Yes, I did. I did read about it.
Only at the State University of the Commonwealth.
I didn't know. I was trying to figure out what. For some reason, I thought it was basketball, and then I'm like, no, it's not basketball. They're not playing them. And then I looked at it.
The fact that UMass
I have no words for that.
The fact that UMass didn't get a delay of game minor was criminal from the officials' part. And Hockey East, which does a great job on this, has to put in a rule. You know, these schools have these celebrations now when they score a goal where they sometimes turn out the lights quickly.
Oh, yes.
No more.
The worst thing you can do.
No
You're
more.
just asking for trouble.
You don't know if UConn was going to score on that 2-on-1. You know they weren't when the lights went out. So.
Oh my God.
But again, nowhere would you expect that more than the University of Massachusetts.
UMass. I'll quickly ask you then. Did you see the Miami of Ohio basketball coach?
No.
Is that okay? Just check out. He had a wild outburst before halftime over the weekend. I want you to take a look at that.
I will take a look as soon as we get done.
He had to be held back. It was hilarious.
Good for him.
All right. I'm Steve Cully, best podcast host in the universe. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life.